So 2020 has been quite the decade so far. We've already had to deal with a pandemic, and now we're potentially on the verge of World War III. It's starting to feel like, with Russia going into Ukraine last night. There's definitely a lot of unknowns of what's going on out there and where this is going to play into, even like the real estate market back here, which almost seems so insignificant at this point, but I know it's something that's probably on a lot of people's minds, so I thought I'd just make a quick little video to talk about what my thoughts are on where this goes and if it will have a big impact on the market or not. Personally, I still think it's way too early to say. I think a lot of these the current situation is still unfolding, and nobody really knows what's going to happen next. I can't imagine how it must feel for people who have family in Ukraine, as well as in Russia, because at the end of the day, I don't think this is something that even the majority of Russian people wanted, or the Ukrainian population wanted. This just seems like Putin's sort of finally gone off the deep end, and who knows what his plans are here, but I do think we have to take some of these threats pretty seriously. And hopefully we look back on this and this is just a blip in time, but you never know what's going to happen next and how this is really going to unfold into the markets here. So if I were to sort of take a guess at where I think things are going, I'm hopeful that this whole situation gets de-escalated rather quickly, and that Russia ends their invasion of Ukraine, because obviously I don't think it's good for anyone if this goes on for any length of time. Obviously, in the short term impacts, I think there is going to be some concern in the market, and some buyers may say, well, I'm just going to hold off a little bit longer till I see what happens. And fears really trickle into the market rather quickly. Also, I notice, like looking at cryptocurrencies or the stock markets, this is definitely going to have an impact on those in the short term as well. So that may impact buyers' potential borrowing capacity for like first-time purchasers. If they're digging into an RRSP to buy a property, then they may not have as much money as they did last week at this time, because some of the markets have started to take a bit of a hit, given the uncertainty of the situation right now. So I think in the long run, obviously, I think Toronto is still an amazing city to live in, and one of the best cities in the world, and will continue to be an amazing place to invest in real estate, as it's shown over the last 25 years. But I think in the short term, there's definitely a lot of unknowns in how this plays out into the market. I think it is coming at a time too where there was a bit of buyer fatigue happening, and we're going to start to see a lot of listings hitting the market in the short run as well. So I think it may sort of initially seem a little bit worse than it actually is, but I think in the long run, the impacts of this will hopefully be short-lived, because I hope this situation is resolved rather quickly, and then that we can go back to sort of the market that we were dealing with, and the market that we can sort of understand a little bit better, that doesn't have these outside influences, and likely believe that the market is starting to show some signs of buyer fatigue. And as supply starts to hit the market from sellers trying to take advantage of these great prices, I think we're going to sort of see a little bit of a pullback in the prices. But over the long run, I still continue to be bullish on the Toronto real estate market. I think it's going to continue to go up over time, but I think we may see some short-term declines over the next little bit. But it'll be interesting to see how things go. Even just last weekend, I bid on a property for a client, and it was a small bungalow, pretty much a tear down for the location that it's in. Based on past sales, it should have gone somewhere between 1.6 to 1.7. It ended up selling for 2.1. So there still is a lot of craziness going on in this market. it's difficult to say how quickly the supply will sort of calm things down. But even just driving around today, I noticed a lot of coming soon signs. I think there are a lot of properties coming soon. So if you're a buyer, I think there's some relief on the way. If you're a seller, I think you may have missed the peak though, and we're likely going to see a little bit of a slowdown over the next little bit. But there's no telling how that continues over the long run, because at the end of the day, we still have a supply issue here, and unless there's more properties being built, we will still have much more demand than there is supply to satisfy the people that are looking to buy properties in Toronto. So again, I remain long-term bullish, but I think in the short term, we're probably going to see some declines. If you have any questions about the market, don't hesitate to reach out. My name is Graham Rollins with Homing Real Estate. You can send me an email at graham, Graham, at homing.ca, or give me a call, 416-720-0003. Thanks, and have a great day. Bye.